Local Justice, presented by Elrod Pope Law Firm, serving our community since 1980. Here's your host, Attorney Ben Leader.
Welcome to Local Justice. I'm Ben Leader with Elrod Pope Law Firm, and today I'm honored to have with us Deputy James Jr. Donaldson from the Chester County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Donaldson, thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Pleasure to have you on the show. Today we're going to be talking about something that honestly sounds like it comes out of a movie, but it's happening right here in our community, and you've played a big role in that, and that's drones and law enforcement. And so it's not just a cool gadget anymore, but this is a real tool that's out there saving lives. It's keeping officers' safety. It's allowing y'all to operate more efficiently and faster, and ultimately saving lives in our community. And so really look forward to digging deep into this topic and letting you educate the viewers a little more on how y'all are taking advantage of this technology.
All right, I'll do my best.
All right, well let's start by just getting to know you a little bit better. Tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, and what ultimately attracted you to law enforcement.
Well, I grew up in South Chester, also known as Blackstock. Lived there all my life. Became a 911 dispatcher as soon as I graduated high school in 2002. Been doing that ever since. 2022, I was offered a position on the drone team. The sheriff's office said they were in the process of acquiring some drone technology, and I jumped on it, and I haven't looked back.
That's great. And did you find that the dispatch role was a great kind of transition into the law enforcement side of things?
I think so. Already being able to communicate on the radio, which is a big part of what we do as drone pilots, communicating with officers on the ground, trying to keep them safe, watching their backs. It played a huge part in it.
And I imagine multitasking is something you got to be really good at to be able to operate a drone. And I know from a dispatch standpoint, y'all are doing a lot of different things at one time while keeping that person on the phone.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So what attracted you to the Chester County Sheriff's Office in particular? Has that just always been home for you?
So actually, when I first became a dispatcher, we were operated by the county, Chester County government. In 2009, the Sheriff's Office took over 911 responsibilities, and we've been under the Sheriff's Office since then.
Gotcha. So that made it a little bit smoother of a transition.
Yes, sir.
All right. And did you have an interest in drones before 2022 time frame? Was that something on your radar, something you had kind of taken as a hobby personally?
Not really. I was always into rotary winged aircraft, helicopters, and stuff like that. I created some helicopters for a couple different flight simulators in the early 2010s to 2016. I believe Captain Peoples noticed that I was always interested in helicopters. Every time he came in the dispatch room, he saw me looking at helicopters, pictures, videos. So when they were getting ready to procure the drones, he kind of stepped over to the side and asked me, I was like, would you be interested in being on the drone team? And just started from there.
That's fascinating. And, for people who aren't quite as familiar as drone piloting and what it entails, tell us a little bit about, what it actually is. It's not just, playing with a controller anymore. There's a lot more skill involved and strategy involved.
Yeah, like I said, the main skill involved is communication, being able to, like you're looking at a controller, a screen, so you can see stuff, but how do you communicate what you see to the units on the ground, what they need to know to try to get their mission accomplished. So that's the main thing is communication, being able to train your eyes to spot different anomalies on the screen, especially in thermal view. We'll see hot spots. It could be a rock that got hot during the day, or it could be a person curled up in a ball hiding in the woods. You never know.
Wow.
So trying to train your eyes to spot those discrepancies, those anomalies, and being able to call it out. If you think it's something that needs checked by ground units, you can call it out to them, and they'll go check it.
And as far as the training goes, I know that there's a lot more regulation involved now than there was a few years ago. What type of certifications or training do you have to have in order to be able to kind of legally operate those drones?
So we operate commercially under the FAA. So all of our drone pilots at the Sheriff's Office are Part 107 license holders. So it's an official pilot's license. It's specifically for an unmanned aerial system, UAS. So that's the certifications we hold. It's every 2 years recert. We also try to get most of our pilots, and we're still working on this, trying to get them through the National Institute for Standard and Technology. They have a drone-specific course that focuses on flight safety, being able to operate a drone using a gimbal camera, being able to maneuver around, spatial awareness. So that's what we're trying to get done.
And that certification's critical because that's what enables y'all to be able to operate at night and to do a lot of the things that are necessary to really take advantage of it.
Yes, sir. All of our drones are equipped with anti-collision lighting. So the flashing strobe lights you see on airplanes, pretty much the same thing, just a smaller version we have on our drones.
And how many officers do y'all have capable of piloting a drone over at Chester?
Capable right now, we have 6.
That's impressive.
6 pilots.
And just tell us kind of a bird's eye view, what type of situations typically call for the involvement of a drone?
It could be missing persons, search and rescue usually. On the law enforcement side, we'll get into the search and apprehend, aerial overwatch for SWAT teams, warrant services.
It feels like it's becoming more and more of a part of the day-to-day operations versus, once in a blue moon we'll pull the drone out for certain scenarios. It feels like law enforcement is starting to be able to use this on more of a frequent basis for a number of reasons.
Yes, sir. So a lot of the bigger cities are using what they call a DFR program, a drone first responder. Basically, it ties into the 911 CAD system. Mm-hmm. And it'll autonomously fly to where the 911 call is created or located on a map.
Wow.
And it'll give you a 360 overview of that incident location. So we don't have that. We have to do that manually. And we're finding that the more and more calls we respond to, the more and more actionable intelligence we're able to provide the responding officers before they get there.
They're not going into a situation blind.
Right.
They know exactly, if a weapon may be involved or
Exactly.
Serious injuries or kind of what they're walking into ahead of it.
Yes, sir.
I can't imagine how valuable that knowledge is in that type of scenario.
Very valuable.
We're going to take a quick break from some of the station sponsors, and when we come back, I want to talk about some real-world examples of how y'all put this technology to use and really ultimately save lives as a result of it. So thank you for your time, and thank you to the viewers for tuning in. We'll be right back with more local justice with Junior Donaldson here shortly. Thank you. After a car accident, everything feels overwhelming. Your injuries, your job, the insurance companies contacting you before you even understand what happened. And you deserve someone who knows how to navigate these situations. A law firm who has handled thousands of injury cases across our region. Elrod Pope has been helping injured people for more than 45 years. If you have been hurt, call Elrod Pope. We will help you get back on your feet.
We know the type. You like to start early, finish late, make lemon squares, and make payments to the college fund from anywhere in the house. We know you rely on Comporium for the things you rely on most, like a view of the backyard. That's just a bunny, and hundreds of channels to watch, whenever you want. So you may think of us as just your internet company, but we're more like the I didn't know they could do all that company. Comporium, always ready.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not gonna have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
Being there for someone in their time of need is what Green Funeral Home has done compassionately for 4 generations. It's a privilege we take very seriously.
We believe each life should be honored and remembered by family and friends. Whether you choose traditional burial in our chapel or another venue, or cremation provided by our on-site crematory, we will help guide you through each step to ensure your needs are met.
We are also available to discuss pre-planning. Peace of mind that you have helped your loved one by making those difficult decisions.
When the need arises, our family is here for your family.
When a bank gets a new customer, they email a bunch of links and say good luck. But that's not us. A community banker sees this as a start of a new relationship, so we come to your office and bring a team of business specialists. Then we train your staff in all the tools they need to be successful. Bottom line, a community banker is in the trenches with your business every step of the way. I'm Catherine Faircloth, and I'd love to be your first community banker.
Live Strong at the YMCA is a lifesaver for so many people.
I love Live Strong because you meet so many people, you learn how strong you can be physically and mentally.
The camaraderie and the closeness that you feel and come together as a group is just amazing.
We meet them where they are, and we work with them to help them get stronger.
At the YMCA of Upper Palmetto, we are proud to offer our community the support of the Live Strong program to all cancer survivors. For more information, visit your local branch.
Welcome back to Local Justice. I'm Ben Leader with the Elrod Pope Law Firm, and today I'm honored to have with me Deputy Jr. Donaldson from the Chester County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Donaldson, thank you so much for joining us. I'm somewhat of a technology nerd, and so I'm fascinated by this conversation. I think the viewers will get a lot out of it too. We've talked about your background and kind of how, from a bird's eye view, drones are put to use over in Chester. Want to talk about some real world examples of how y'all have taken advantage of this technology to really make an impact and to save lives. And there's one story in particular I'd love to hear some insight from you, and that was a missing person that was found as a result of your work using the drone and ultimately resulted in you receiving a Lifesaver Award from the Chester County Sheriff's Office.
Yes, sir.
Please fill us in on that story and tell us what happened.
Well, like I said, I joined the drone team in March of 2022. The sheriff was able to secure some funding from the Lutz Foundation and the Chester Healthcare Foundation, as well as some private donors to purchase the drone aircraft at no expense to the taxpayers.
That's great.
So it had been a few months. I got my pilot's license, got certified, went through the training, and we get a call about a missing elderly patient with dementia that had walked away from a assisted living facility in Fort Lawn. I'm not sure why. I was already out on the road, but I went ahead and went that way. I ended up being the second officer on scene, and immediately put the drone in the air, tried to search, was unable to locate anything. It extended into the night, just back and forth, going out, searching different spots, coming back, charging my batteries, because I didn't have an inverter in my vehicle, so I had to go to the command post to charge my batteries for about an hour, and then go back. I would go back out to a different spot and fly and try to search. As rocky terrain, I remember there was a lot of hot spots on the ground, just trying to check those and narrow that search area down. And like I said, it went into the night. I came back the next morning, all day, searched all day. Went into that night, the second night, and on the third day, I got a call from one of the investigators who wanted to check a creek bed off of Cemetery Road, at the end of Cemetery Road. And he said, come on down here with me, I'm gonna get you to fly it, we're gonna walk it. Well, they took off down the creek bed. I was still in the process of assembling the drone, getting it ready to take it up in the air. And I got it up in the air. I started flying down the creek bed. I thought I was behind them. I was trying to play catch up. So I was flying over top of the trees, looking down through the canopy, at the holes in the canopy, through the foliage. I was still thinking I was trying to catch up with the team on foot. I ended up getting ahead of them at about 1,000 feet out. I saw something, it just caught my eye, it didn't look right. So I zoomed in on it, and it was her legs in the water. Wow. She was laying in the creek.
Wow.
And I remember she was laying there just tickling the water with her fingertips like a child, just kind of, it was odd, but I ended up calling it out to the ground team. They were able to push forward and get to her. And it was just, I actually kind of blanked out after that. It was an amazing moment.
Wow.
I couldn't believe we had found her, and she was still alive.
And that sounds like 50 plus hours that
yes.
search mission really took place.
Yes,
and
I think all in all, when we went back and looked at the flight logs for the drones, because it wasn't just me, it was 2 other pilots down there as well. I think we searched an area equivalent to 50 square miles.
Wow.
In just 2.5 days.
Wow.
So.
And that was within the first year or 2 of y'all even bringing these drones in and having this technology.
That was within the first 7 months.
Wow, and immediately saved a life as a result
yes,
of it.
Yes, sir.
And here's a photo I wanted to share with the viewers as well, which is you and Miss Pate. And I know that y'all have probably built a special relationship, as a result of that, that mission.
We did. Unfortunately, she passed away last year.
Sorry to hear that. Well, rest in peace to her, but thankfully, due to y'all's work, she had more time here with us.
Yeah, being able to reunite her with her family was extra special, and being able to share a bond with her and create that friendship was awesome.
And I know with every passing hour, you know, the worry and anxiety probably increases more and more, and you know, there's that critical window, and to have something like this good happen, you know, after 2 days is pretty rare.
Yes, sir, I do.
Talk to us a little bit just about kind of the job that Chester County Sheriff's Office has in terms of the amount of ground you'll have to cover. It's a lot of rural areas, and it seems like drones in particular can really provide a benefit to offices like yours, where, you know, there's just not enough boots on the ground to be able to cover all these square miles, and these drones enable y'all to do that.
Right. Like I say, during any given search and rescue mission, we're able to cover a lot of square footage, as far as being able to get that elevated position, being able to scan, just look around and scan. And you'd be amazed at what you can see from the air, what you can rule out. You know, you know, you can look over here and say, well, I'm pretty sure they're not over here. I don't see any movement. I don't see any trails or tracks or anything. So you can kind of rule that out a little bit and focus on another area. So. That's
great. And how big is the drone? It sounds like you do carry it around in your vehicle most of the time.
So I do. With the sheriff was able to secure some grant funding from State Representative Randy Ligon.
That's great.
We were able to purchase 2 drone vehicles, drone-specific vehicles, and I do carry our largest drone, Artemis, in the back of my vehicle.
Pretty big piece of equipment.
It's bigger than this chair.
Wow. And how fast can it travel?
Top speed is 51 miles an hour.
Wow. And does it have I know the range has astronomically increased over the last couple of years in the drones in general. Pretty significant range, I would imagine.
It's kind of a double-edged sword. So the drone in and of itself, between the drone and the controller, if we didn't have any trees, we could get about 9 to 15 miles range.
Wow.
But the FAA limits us to visual line of sight.
That's right.
So at all times, we have to keep the drone in visual line of sight. If not us, we have designated visual observers that we can put downrange, and they can visually monitor the drone for us.
That's fascinating. I'm just blown away by the conversation and the capabilities that it has. And, you know, we're going to take another quick break from some of the station sponsors here shortly, but when we return, I want to really dig into your thoughts on kind of some of the privacy concerns and, you know, where the future technology is headed with this, because I think the sky really is the limit with where things can go.
I agree.
Thank you again for your time, and thank you to
sir.
the viewers for joining us. We'll be right back with more local justice with Deputy Donaldson here shortly. I wish everyone came with a warning label, because if you could predict a car accident, you would probably stay home that day. But accidents are never planned, and the moments after are confusing. You don't need a warning label. You need a law firm who knows how to handle this. A law firm who has helped people in South Carolina through injury cases for decades. If you've been hurt, call Elrod Pope. We'll help you understand your options and get moving in the right direction.
Coke Zero is now Coke Zero Sugar, with great Coke taste. Some people were excited to hear the news, some were skeptical. So we're not going to have the star of the show you're watching come out and say, "You'll love it." No special jingle written by this week's hottest pop star. No famous internet celebs who happen to be holding the label just so. Okay, maybe just one little pour shot. The only thing that will make you believe Coke Zero Sugar has great Coke taste is trying it yourself. Ice cold Coke Zero Sugar. Try one today.
When a catastrophe hits, it can be a very stressful time for you. When you have trees on your house, when you have trees on your cars, and you don't know what to do, you call us.
We're not a 1-800 number, we're an 803 number. We've been in business for over 60 years because we take care of our clients. That means taking care of them during claim situations.
We're not 9 to 5, we're 24/7. We're gonna be there when you need us most. Gill Insurance, your local auto owner's agent. Understanding business is how we do business.
When it comes to prescription medications and health needs, Rock Hill residents have been turning to Good Pharmacy for over 50 years.
I've been coming to Good Pharmacy since we came to Rock Hill in 1984, and I would not change pharmacists for anything.
With their knowledgeable staff, you can always trust that your prescription will be filled with complete confidence and care for your health. Good Pharmacy, conveniently located at the corner of Ebenezer Road and Camden Avenue.
Welcome back to Local Justice. I'm joined today by Deputy Jr. Donaldson with the Chester County Sheriff's Office, who acts as a drone pilot over there and does a number of things to help keep our community safe with these drones. One of the things that sticks out to me, Deputy, is that how blessed Chester County is to have this equipment. I mean, this equipment is not cheap. It's very expensive and not easy to get our hands on. And it sounds like it's really been a joint effort from several foundations. I know you mentioned the Luke's Foundation,
Yes,
the
sir.
Chester Healthcare
Yes,
Foundation, and then Representative Ligon too, that have all really gone above and beyond to help ensure y'all are equipped with this technology.
Yes, sir. I believe without their help, we wouldn't be able to procure the drones or the vehicles.
And for a county like Chester, it's a huge advantage to have that technology and that equipment. So thank you to those foundations and to Representative Ligon for helping make that possible. I want to talk a little bit about the privacy concerns, because that's something I hear a lot from a legal standpoint. Is there's a lot of questions about, what is legally permissible, what's not permissible, how does this interplay with the Fourth Amendment, and I know that's still very much a developing area of the law. Tell us a little bit about, from your standpoint, where things kind of stand on that front.
So there is a lot of gray area. There are some cases, I believe, that are going to the Supreme Court, specifically referencing the Fourth Amendment. But the sheriff has tasked us with a mission to keep our deputies, other law enforcement officers, and the public safe. But that does not come at the expense of the Fourth Amendment. We're not out there to violate your Fourth Amendment rights. We take privacy very seriously. When we're flying a mission and we're traveling from our staging point to the target location or the search area, we're generally not recording any video footage. We're using the camera to navigate only. We're only going to record video footage or take pictures if we have a lawful reason to do so. So usually by the time we're involved with investigations or anything like that, probable cause already exists. So we're just kind of helping them put the icing on the cake, so to speak. But no, we're not out there spying on people, looking into private property, anything like that.
Well, I respect and appreciate and admire the fact that y'all are still so conscious of the Fourth Amendment's role in this, despite not having real clear guidance from the courts yet. And
Right.
a lot of people don't realize sometimes for case law to be developed, it may take 6 to 8 years before that case works its way through the Supreme Court, and they provide clear guidance on what's allowed and what's not allowed. And so it results in this kind of gray area now where agency like yours are kind of left to figure a lot of it out yourself and to set policies yourselves. And I, as an attorney, I certainly appreciate the Fourth Amendment's role and the fact that y'all, still take that into account. And, it means a lot to y'all too. And so I think y'all are going about it the right way despite not having a lot of guidance yet.
Yeah, we're just trying to help enforce the law, keep people safe, law enforcement and citizens alike. Like I said, we're not trying to violate anybody's rights. Also, I do want people to understand that our aircraft, our drones they're registered through the FAA, so they do have registration numbers, just like a civilian airplane would, or a commercial airplane. I do want to ask that people not shoot at our drones or shoot any drones down. That is a federal crime, carries severe penalties. I also want people to understand that the National Airspace System, it's everywhere. It's over your backyard, it's over my backyard, and there's not a lot we can do about it. But there is still some gray area as far as people using drones to harass other people.
Mm-hmm.
We try to fly at the uppermost limits of the airspace that we're legally able to fly at. That way we don't cause any confusion or potential Fourth Amendment violations. So that's kind of our stance on it, is we're not out looking for crime. We're not out trying to catch people doing stuff in their own backyards. That's not what we're doing.
Well, y'all are using it for the right reasons, and the results show in both officer safety and stories like Miss Pate, where y'all were able to ultimately locate her and help save her life.
Yes, sir.
One of the other things that I think I'm particularly interested in is the future and where this is headed. And I know with the state of our world right now and the wars going on, we're seeing drone usage all over the world in a lot of different ways than we've seen in the past in terms of the military. And there, in my mind, there could be a world where officers' lives are not having to be put in jeopardy and to going into situations blind. What are your thoughts on kind of the future of drones' role in law enforcement and what the capabilities really are?
The technology is ever changing. Drones are getting smaller. Even the smaller ones are getting more capable, just as capable as the big drones. Our newest drones are half the size of the big one that I carry. The camera systems are just as good as the big one that I carry. They're easier to deploy, quicker to deploy, easier to maintain. Our smallest drones that we use for clearing indoors, say for instance on a search warrant or any other kind of warrant service, where there may be a potentially armed or barricaded suspect inside, we'll use the small drones to fly inside. And they're FPV drones. We have to wear the goggles to fly them, but we can send a drone inside versus sending a human or a canine. And we can risk that drone, that piece of property, that equipment, versus a human life or the life of a canine. And that's what we're trying to do. The technology is growing. I also want people to understand that weaponizing civilian drones is also a federal crime. You're not allowed to do that.
Absolutely.
Even stuff as simple as attaching fireworks to a drone, it's illegal. You can't do it. So I think the drone technology is it's evolving faster than the regulations can keep up with right now.
That's right.
So we're just kind of monitoring it, seeing where it goes, seeing how we can best use it to help the citizens of our county and keep our officers and citizens safe.
That's great. Well, that's fascinating information, and it's really great insight and some advice too about people definitely not shooting those drones down, which I know is something that is happening at a lot of places right now. So really appreciate your time today and your willingness to share a little bit about what y'all do behind the scenes and how useful this technology really is. And I mean, again, the results speak for themselves already, and anything we can and should be doing to keep our officers safe, I think by all means is something that we need to explore. So I'm glad to hear that Chester County's leading the curve on this and a little bit ahead of it on taking advantage of this technology. And
yes,
so,
sir.
this is a great reminder that technology isn't just about innovation. It's about real people and real outcomes and keeping our communities safe. So, Deputy, thank you for all that you do to help keep Chester County safe, and thank you for joining us on Local Justice. It's been a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And to the viewers, thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate Deputy Donaldson joining us today, and we'll see you next time with more Local Justice. Stay safe out there. So when a client first comes into our office, they're dealing with very painful injuries. They're trying to provide for their families at the same time. You can just see the sense of anxiety, the grief, the worry on their face as soon as they walk in the door. One of the first things we do is we try to alleviate that concern and take that weight off their shoulder and put it on our plate. We see people immediately leave here from the first consultation. I can already see a sense of relief because they know that they've got a team helping them now and it's no longer just their problem.
Brown's Roofing began in 1989 with just a truck, a trailer, and a mission to do things the right way. What started as one man hand-nailing shingles has grown into a trusted name across South Carolina and North Carolina. At Brown's Roofing, we believe in honest work, fair pricing, and a quality that lasts. If we wouldn't allow it on our mother's home, we won't allow it on yours. With Brown's Roofing, you're not just getting a roof, you're getting our word.
We know the type. You like to start early, finish late, make lemon squares, and make payments to the college fund from anywhere in the house. We know you rely on Comporium for the things you rely on most, like a view of the backyard. That's just a bunny, and hundreds of channels to watch, whenever you want. So you may think of us as just your internet company, but we're more like the I didn't know they could do all that company. Comporium, always ready.